Hello, this is going to be a video tutorial on how to apply to Whatcom Community College. Our application is free and it typically takes students around 25 to 30 minutes to complete. To access the application, there's quite a few different ways on our website, but I'll take you through our updated virtual Whatcom page. You can go ahead and click here, Future Students, Apply Now. And this is an important page to refer back to after you've applied. It just kind of outlines the different steps to your first day at Whatcom. But for now, we'll go ahead and click Apply Online. So Whatcom and all community and technical colleges in the state use this Web Admission Center platform. If you're the type of student who does best kind of reading instructions, and that's how you learn, you can go ahead and read the quick start instructions here, and it'll kind of give you an overview of the entire application. Otherwise, we can go ahead and just set up your web admissions account. Oh, and this is actually a good troubleshooting piece. You'll want to make sure that your pop-ups are unblocked. So if you click on this little icon, you can click here where it says always allow pop-ups, and that will give you access to our application. Okay, there we go, perfect. Okay, so at this part, you'll just want to make sure you read the instructions carefully, and I'll just kind of touch on some frequently asked questions. So if you don't have a middle name, it is no problem to leave the middle initial space blank. Your user ID, many people use this platform, so it does need to be unique. So you'll find you have to add some numbers, and it might not be like your exact first and last name. And make sure while you're working on your account that you take note of what the ID you create is, as well as your password. Our application doesn't take too long, but if you do need to log back in at some point, it will be important to have that information. And you'll want to make sure that your birthday is typed in the correct formula, so 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and then 4 digits for the year. And then some students are unsure of what a maiden name is. So your mother's maiden name is going to be her last name prior to being married, if married. And if not married, you can simply enter your mother's last name. And then here you're just going to select I'm not a robot. And from there, you'll be able to create your account. And I already have an account, so I'm just going to go back to the initial platform and actually sign in. So this piece, you haven't applied to Whatcom just then, you just set up your account to access the application. So the next piece would be to actually log in to the Web Admission Center. Actually this, okay, and this is just a test account, so no need to look at my information. So I'm already at the end of the application, but I'll go ahead and start at the beginning. So you'll log into the application. It's going to look like this. The application itself is broken into 6 sections, and the sections are not too long. And those sections are going to be personal information, course of study, residency information, testing information, and academic history. So once you're to this piece, if you have any questions about the application, you're more than welcome to just contact us at outreach@whatcom.edu. But really, you'll just follow along and answer the questions. This is not my accurate information. Those are just made up addresses. And you'll just navigate through the next few pages. Some frequently asked questions I'll just point out along the way. You can apply without a social security number, so if you do not have one, that's okay. You'll hear back from our registration office just to double check that you left it blank intentionally. And certainly, if you know you have a social security number, but you're just not sure of what it is in this moment, do not guess your social security number. If it's incorrect, that'll create problems on our end. So if you know you have one and you just need to look in a specific drawer at home or ask a parent, make sure you do that. Okay. And then another thing I just want to point out to students, as you're entering your information, this is going to be your legal information. But it's really important to us at Whatcom that you're addressed by the name that you prefer. So once you do apply, one of the first things you'll do is you'll hear back from us, from our registration office, and there will be an opportunity in that email to follow a link to update your information. So you can update your preferred name in our system so that your student ID card and the roster lists in each of your classes will reflect the name you prefer. Okay, so section 2, this piece is really, really important. Some students kind of miss this piece. It's really important to select your intended start quarter. This will kind of dictate the messages that you receive from the college after you submit. So if you, for example, selected winter, but you really were planning on attending in the fall quarter before, you might receive communications with incorrect deadlines and things of that nature. So make sure you're really intentional about the quarter that you select. The remaining questions here, if you're not exactly sure, if something isn't set in stone in terms of what you want to study, that's okay. This is not going to follow you for your entire college experience, just for us to get an idea of what you hope to study. So section 3, this is the residency information page. So this is the piece where the only person who will really know the answers to these questions is you and perhaps a parent or guardian. So you'll just have to read the instructions really carefully. If you have clarifying questions about what we are asking for, you can of course reach out. And for some of the questions, question 3 tends to be an obstacle for students. If the question doesn't sound familiar to you, for example, if you've never heard of something called the Alaska Permanent Fund, then it probably doesn't apply to you. So don't be too concerned about the questions that you just don't relate to and aren't sure what they're referring to. Okay. Okay, and then section number 4, race and citizenship information. So many of these questions are optional, and just know that any of your responses to these questions, as stated at the top here, don't have any impact on your admission. So just rest assured, I believe these are just questions for the sake of information gathering, but they won't affect your admission to the college. Okay, and then here are just some questions regarding your testing history and your academic history as well. Okay, and then here is the very exciting page. So this is where you get to submit your application. So you'll see several schools listed here. You'll want to come down to the box beside Whatcom Community College and select that. This is the same platform for all of the community colleges you see here. So after submitting to Whatcom, you certainly could come back to this page and select other schools to apply to. You do need to select and submit one by one, so you cannot check multiple boxes at once. You can check the boxes. Oops. Oh, no, you can't. So as you can see, yeah, only one college at a time. And pay close attention to, as you can see, Whatcom's application does not cost any money, which is the case for many of these colleges, but you'll notice that some of the colleges like Bellevue College, for example, Renton Technical College, there is a charge associated with submitting the application, so just something to bring to your attention. Okay, and then I am not going to submit my application because it's quite incomplete, but you'll go ahead and hit submit here, and then you are good to go. So nice job, you've completed a really important step in your journey to becoming a student. Once you hit submit, you should expect to hear from Whatcom over email in about 2 business days with your student ID number and some follow-up instructions. So thanks for joining along, and if you do have any questions along the way, again, don't hesitate to reach out. My name's Carmen, and you can reach me at outreach@whatcom.edu.